Ronnie O'Sullivan entered this tournament for match practice. Condon Park Golf Club is only a stone's throw from his home in Chigwell, and he certainly had plenty of match practice. Obviously O'Sullivan is favourite, but not by a huge margin, I don't think, because Mark Davis is playing extremely well, very consistently. And you've got to be consistent to reach 3 consecutive group finals. Well, that's a loose safety from O'Sullivan.
One.
Davis had to take a chance for position and hasn't been particularly well favoured.
Rainbow.
Forced into attempting that with the red so close
4.
to the other baulk pocket. Might not have done so.
Five.
If the red hadn't been so accessible. Not a kind run of the ball. He hit the pin pretty well plumb on the nose, so he had every right to expect something much easier than this.
Mark Davis 10.
And in fact there was nothing worth going for. Between completing his commitments at the round robin stage and starting his semi-final, O'Sullivan went out for a run of somewhere between 2 and 3 miles. We all know how much he likes running, but I would have thought there was a fatigue implication to consider.
One. Six. Seven. Onward. Mark Davis 7.
Well, if it had just been a question of potting the ball, I think he probably would have done. But trying to bump it in and get out of a perfect position on his next red seemed to cause him to miss it.
1. Five. Six. Nine.
Foiled by the middle pocket jaw there.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 9.
It left him over the wrong side of the table to be able to take another red. Here's another chance though, by the look of it.
1. Six. 7.
He gets the black back on its spot.
14.
And now he'll want to get the pink away from where it is, so that the red next to it will go to the right corner.
15. 21. 22.
Didn't mean to cannon a second red, but it's still all right.
27. 28. 34. 35. 41.
Ideal position, leaving a slight angle so that he can get the cue ball away from the cushion.
42. 48. 49.
Already leaving Davis needing 2 snookers.
54. 'Sullivan, 54. Yeah,
Which should be enough, and is enough. Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Mark Davis by a frame to 0. I spoke a little while ago at the start of that frame about O'Sullivan going out for a run between the afternoon and the evening session. I remember he competed in the Norwich Half Marathon on the morning of a Premier League final against Sean Murphy, and I don't think it did his form any good. Still, O'Sullivan a frame up against Davis, appearing in his third consecutive group final. From the two previous groups, Davis at £9,150, and even if he loses, he'll be about 4,500 to the good again, I would think. If he wins, of course, he goes into the winners group, where it's £300 a frame from the start.
Second frame, Mark Davis to break.
The prize money in this group is £100 per frame in the round robin, £300 per frame
Foul.
in the knockout stage.
Mark Davis 7.
7 away there as O'Sullivan unluckily knocks the black in from his safety. And there are also prizes of 3,000 for the group winner, 2,000 for the runner-up, and 1,000 for the losing semi-finalists.
One.
Played that with strong check side, left of centre striking to avoid cannoning another ball. It made the pot much more difficult, but O'Sullivan coped with the extra difficulty.
Four. Five. Ten.
Not on his intended red.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 10.
So in the end had to settle for the shot to nothing. Would have been able to lay a snooker or pot the brown had the red gone in. not a potting attempt.
One. Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
O'Sullivan earned the opportunity to lay this extremely nasty snooker by clipping in that long red. The cue ball's so close to the brown that Davis can't get very far down the side cushion. He'll do well to leave everything safe here.
One. Seven. Eight. 14. 15. 21. 22. 28. 29. 35. 36. 42. $43. 49. 50.
And just the pink would be sufficient to leave Davis needing a snooker.
$56. 57. 60. 61.
Try to develop the two reds.
61 on the frame, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
So with that beautifully controlled break of 61, Ronnie O'Sullivan leads Mark Davis by 2 frames to 0 here in the Championship League Group 5 final. Now Group 6 starts at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we have 3 newcomers: Dominic Dale, Rod Lawler and Kurt Mafflin. They will join Peter Ebden, who finished 5th in this group, Group 5. He will join the 2 losing semi-finalists and also the loser of this match. Fergal O'Brien and David Gilbert are the 2 losing semi-finalists who will be coming back tomorrow. And Ronnie O'Sullivan has no intention of coming back tomorrow. He wants to get into the winners group at his first attempt.
Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Didn't mean to cannon the second red, but he's been fortunate enough to knock it safe. Maybe the outside red in the cluster though is on for Davis. Or maybe not. caught that thinner than intended. That's why the cue ball has run on so far, but he hasn't done any immediate damage. Davis's safety, though, has given O'Sullivan some difficulty. Played the glancing escape well, but there is still a red on to left corner.
One. Mark Davis, 1.
Couldn't get direct to the potting angle, but managed to do so
1.
with left of centre striking. It swerved the cue ball slightly, but the snag was that once the cue ball hit the cushion, it went left with the spin, so Davis wasn't on the black.
Mark Davis, 1.
Not as good as it could have been. O'Sullivan was trying to get the cue ball behind green, blue, brown.
One.
Excellent long red from Davis.
Eight. 9. $16. 17. 24. 25.
Davis gave O'Sullivan a very hard match in the round robin stage. O'Sullivan won the opening frame after needing a snooker. Then the second frame after needing a snooker. Davis won the third.
32.
And was out the match in the fourth. Mark Davis, an opponent to be respected by anyone.
33. 40.
Didn't catch that quite right. Still has an alternative though, to right middle.
$41. Blue ball. $46. 47. 54. 55. 62.
This is frame ball effectively.
Mark Davis, 62.
How close was that? That would have put him 65 in front with only 59 on.
One. 6.
O'Sullivan reduces his arrears to 58, but only 59 on, and his immediate problem is making sure Davis doesn't have a shot at the red nearest the left corner.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 6.
Hasn't managed to do it.
One.
Even if Davis had gone in off, it would have been in his favour, because it would have been
Green ball.
one red fewer
Mark Davis 1 on the frame.
for O'Sullivan to get a black from. Anyway, Davis takes the third frame, but O'Sullivan still leads by 2 frames to 1. Paul Collier is the referee, just back from being tournament director at an Asian Tour event in China. Looking forward to the Wales-England rugby match. He's a great Wales and Dragons supporter. Can Mark Davis win another 2 frames to win the group and go forward to the winners group? Or will he have to come back for group 6 tomorrow morning?
Frame 4. Mark Davis to break.
Off target, but by running the cue ball through, he made sure that the red he attempted was the only one he could possibly leave. Good safety from Davis, forcing O'Sullivan to use a cushion. The pack's so tightly bunched though that
Touching ball.
there was very little chance of O'Sullivan leaving anything on. Davis could have played via the baulk cushion up behind the green, but again, because the pack is so tightly bunched, he realised that that was unlikely to create an opportunity, so he left O'Sullivan the chance to play into the side of the bunch with a safety, hoping that he might be left a long red, although he hasn't been. The exchange of safeties has now opened the bunch. Oh, that's finished well from Davis's point of view. It looked for all the world that O'Sullivan was going to be left an easy starter. The red nearest the right-hand baulk pocket. This red is possible, but it's a long way away. And those look an awful lot easier on screen than they do to the player, even somebody as good as O'Sullivan.
One.
Good opportunity this for Davis.
Six. Seven. 12. 13. 17. 18.
For all the snooker that he's played in the last 4 days, Davis still looks pretty fresh.
$23.
Wow. Suddenly a difficulty. It's not clear whether either of two possibilities will go. Of those 3 balls, the one nearest the cushion or the one nearest the black. He's just dropped wrong.
Mark Davis, 23.
O'Sullivan will be relieved that it wasn't more. O'Sullivan knew he needed to get the cue ball more or less behind the yellow to prevent Davis attempting the red nearest the left corner. That was a very good safety indeed. Ultra thin it had to be. You may have heard the gasp of disappointment from O'Sullivan. Didn't really get near the target with that attempted long pot.
One. Six. Seven. Twelve. $13.
Deliberately used the edge of the black to get the cue ball to the other end of the table for choice of low value colours. Davis continuing to edge towards 2-all.
60. $17. 22. 23. 28. 29. 34. 35. 40. 41.
O'Sullivan needs snookers. It's going to be 2-all. And that will mean that O'Sullivan will be into his 22nd frame of the day.
44.
He wanted some match practice. He certainly got it.
$45. 47. 47 on the frame, Mark Davis.
So it's 2-all, and it's all on the deciding 5th frame. Well, O'Sullivan was 2-0 up in his semi-final against Fergal O'Brien, and he was taken to a 5th frame decider. Same scenario here. Mark Davis has accrued £11,950 from the 2 other groups that he's participated in. Reached both finals in those groups. Stuart Bingham through to the winners group, 14,500 to his name. Ali Carter also through to the winners group at the second attempt, 9,800. Judd Trump out, 9,450. Barry Hawkins, he won Group 1 and took home 6,800 plus 500 for the highest break prize, which was a 147. So this to decide who goes into the winners group. It's not by accident that O'Sullivan placed that safety behind the yellow. The bridging just too awkward to attempt that red to left middle. Left of centre striking to change the angle the cue ball took off the cushion to get it on the baulk cushion behind the green. Caught that very awkward shot a little thicker than intended, but there doesn't appear to be any harm done. Opening the bunch and screwing the cue ball back to the baulk cushion. Pretty good reply from Davis, but there is one red that O'Sullivan could go at. Calculated that he was going to be plumb on the baulk colour if he potted it, and that he would be unlikely to leave anything easy if he missed it. Well, no. At full stretch. Maybe stretching too much. It seemed to me that he needed either an extension on his cue or that he should have made that a rest shot.
Two.
One red by design, the other by accident. Pink would be another pressure shot if he takes it on. He'd have to get it.
Bramble.
Just too big a risk at this stage of the day.
Mark Davis 2.
Would like to have got the cue ball more behind the yellow though.
One.
Decent red from O'Sullivan, but overhit for
Ronnie
position.
O'Sullivan 1.
And I don't think he's laid the snooker.
One.
And a pretty decent kiss as well.
Seven. Eight.
Pretty decent chance this.
14.
Black not available, but pink is.
$15.
And above all, I don't think Davis is unduly conscious that he's played the great Ronnie O'Sullivan.
17.
He's just playing the balls, which is what you should do.
$18. 20.
The best he could do there was to leave a middle distance red.
21.
But it's a type of shot he's been very consistent on.
$27. 28.
O'Sullivan hoping for a chance for one counter attack.
$34.
But Davis continues to plough on towards the finishing tape. .35 in front.
$35. $41. $42.
Almost there.
$48. $49.
This pink would leave O'Sullivan needing snookers.
$55.
Oh, what a kick that was.
Mark Davis, 55.
I think it's probably too late to make any difference, but had the red dropped, as I'm sure it would have done but for the kick, then I don't think O'Sullivan would have got out of his chair.
1. Ronnie O'Sullivan 1, frame conceded, frame in the match, Mark Davis.
That is it. O'Sullivan led 2-0, but Davis came through 3-2, and it is he who goes through to the winners group on February the 11th and 12th. O'Sullivan put in a massive investment of effort. He played 22 frames during the day, but he came up just short. So there's the winners group as it stands. Barry Hawkins, winner of Group 1, Matt Selt, winner of Group 2, Ali Carter, Group 3, Stuart Bingham, Group 4, and Mark Davis, after unsuccessful appearances in 2 previous group finals, has now won Group 5. Now Group 6 tomorrow is due to contain Ronnie O'Sullivan as runner-up in Group 5, David Gilbert and Fergal O'Brien losing semi-finalists, Peter Ebden 5th place finisher, and newcomers Dominic Dale, Kurt Mafflin and Rod Lawler. We start at 11 o'clock and we hope that you'll join us then.